بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وأصلي وأسلم على نبينا الأمين وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين وعلى من تمسك بسنته بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. First of all, Ikhwan, I think it's appropriate to ride on the coattails of what our brother Sheikh Shu'aib has put forth when he gave us a small and brief history of the pioneers from Al-Hadith who were responsible for this masjid and other masajid throughout England and other than England. I'm honored to be here in the continuation of that program. All of those elders and pioneers who have preceded us in this noble effort of calling the creation to a tawheed and calling the people to the proper way of understanding, performing the ibadat of Islam, far away from the khurafat and the shirkiyat that have been introduced by shaitan and his ansar. We ask Allah Azza wa Jalla by his ism al to forgive all of the amwat from those pioneers who took and they embraced this responsibility, and from those people who are the ahya that still living and they try and continue it, and we ask that Allah makes us from those people, the Ansar Sunnah, and that He causes us to be raised up in Qiyamah with the nuzra, or the faces that are illuminated because of the hadith of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. نضر الله بأن سمع مقالتي فأداها كما سمعها. May Allah illuminate the face of the individual who hears what I say and he relays it to the people the way that I say it. It may be that the one who hears it understands it, or the one who it was relayed to, he understood it better than the one who heard it. So when we take the hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and we try to be the people of Al-Hadith, we are trying to walk in the steps of a long line of tremendous ulama and tremendous people from this ummah past. Oh, we ask Allah again for His rahmah. The other thing, Ikhwan, is that I said, and I met many of the younger brothers. I'm very happy that we had so many young brothers who came today. And we look at the audience and we see people from different walks of life. I'm honored to say, Alhamdulillah alladhi hadana lihada, who has guided us to this deen. He has made all of us brothers in this religion. The Arab from amongst us, and the non-Arabs, the white, the black, and other than that. It is from the affairs of the Jahiliyyah that the Muslims hold on to when we reject each other based upon a person's color or his geographical location. Wallahi, that is from the jahl of the people of Al-Jahiliyyah. قال المصطفى الأمين صلوات الله وسلامه عليه ثلاثة من أمور الجاهلية لن تتركها أمتي أبدا: النياحة على الميت والفخر بالآباء والطعن في الأنساب. There are three things from the affairs of Al-Jahiliyyah. My ummah will never leave them. There will be people in this ummah who will always hold on to these affairs of Al-Jahiliyyah. Number one, that the people scream and wail and holler over the dead. And the dead person will be punished because of that screaming and that hollering. Number two, people being proud about who their father is. I'm so-and-so, the son of so-and-so. And number three, people talking bad about other people because of where he comes from. What? He's Kashmiri? He's only behind. Wallahi, that's from the affairs of the Jahiliyyah. So when we come here today and we look at you brothers and we see your faces and we say, as Allah has said in the Quran, I'm proud to be the brother of all of you in this masjid. I never met most of you, many of you I have met, but because of that ayah, because of that ayah, Allah, if I never met you, feel free to come up and we'll hug and we'll embrace and exchange information, and we give each other our huquq to the best of our ability. Leave alone the affairs of the Jahiliyyah. We are already the minority in this place. We we're going to further exacerbate the problem by splitting the ranks of the Muslims. As it relates to what I'm going to present today, this issue of judgment of Islam, it is a tremendous issue and it has a direct connection upon the theme of this conference. People preparing themselves to stand before Allah Azza wa Jalla. The single thing that will cause people the most problems, Yawm al-Qiyamah, will come as a result of the al-Sana. There is no crime and there is no part of your body that's going to cause you a more problem. It's going to cause you more problems than what your tongues put forth. So when people pass judgments and they relay narrations and they say about people and they make the hukms, then your tongue is a direct culprit of being responsible for the dhulm that the person puts on himself. So we have a lot to say, but we'll get into the loop of the issue later on tonight. I just want to share with you one incident in this half an hour, and it comes to us from Ali ibn Abi Talib radiyallahu anhu. And we do not say karramallahu wajhahu. If we said karramallahu wajhahu to Ali radiyallahu anhu, wallahi thumma billahi thumma tallahi, Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, he deserves it more. And Umar deserves it more than Ali. And Uthman deserves it more than Ali radiyallahu anhum ajma'in. This hadith has been collected by Imam Bukhari. Ali said he came one day on his camel, and he rode to the masjid on his camel, and he witnessed some of the kibar, the major companions of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, having a good time, and they were drinking khamr. They were drunk. Ali came from amongst them. There was Amr Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam,
the first one,
respected man in Jahiliyyah, and even more respected in Islam by the Muslims and the people. Abbas was with his companions and they were drinking. Ali came off his camel and he came into the masjid. When he left the masjid, he found that they took his camel and they cut off the hump of the camel and they slaughtered the camel. So the camel of the Mujahid, the fattest, Ali ibn Abi Talib, he needs his camel for jihad. One of us, we have a car, go out to your car and you find someone flattened your tire. Allah, you need your car to get from here to there. Ali's camel was used for jihad. And if you had a camel during that time, after the jihad, when the distribution of the booty came, if you had a camel, you would get more than the man who walked. If you had a horse, you would get more than the man who had a camel. This is the fiqh of the jihad. Not the jihad that we find people are called into that has no knowledge connected to it. A jihad according to them that causes more problems for Muslims and cause the kuffar to look at our religion and then they start making problems for innocent Muslims. Allows these people to spread their imperialism when they go to our countries and they say, we don't like your regime, we're going to change it. We want the money that you have there, we're going to take your oil. We're not talking about that jihad. Jihad in al-Islam has ahkam and it has knowledge. Ali radiallahu anhu came out and he saw his camel there. And he looked at those companions and he knew that Abbas and those people did that to his camel. Ali did not take the affairs into his own hands. He did not rectify the situation with his own hands. But instead he went to the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the authority in Islam. That's our deen. The children fight, the older son, the younger son. The older son jumps on the younger son and he hurts him. When they bring the situation to the father, the imam, he becomes upset with the older son and he says, yes, the haq was with you, but you were wrong in that you took the affairs into your own hands. You have to bring it to me and let me handle it. So Ali went to the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam Al-Abbas wa ashabahu, they killed my camel, the camel that I need for jihad. And you know I'm married to your daughter and I need I don't have any money and I need my camel. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam heard Ali's side of the story. He didn't become angry and say, this is the husband of my daughter. This is Ali bin Abi Talib, my uncle's cousin, who was the first young person to believe in me when other people didn't believe in me. I owe him a sense of gratitude and thanks. I'm on your side, Ali. Whether the haq is with you or whether you're on the batil, I'm on your side. Because I can think of a million reasons why I should be grateful to you and loyal to you. He didn't do that. He went on his own as the leader, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and this is from the humility of our prophet and our messenger. That he would say to the Muslims after making salat, Ya Anas ibn Malik, where is your little brother? I haven't seen him around. Ya Rasulullah, my little brother, his little bird died and he's sad and he won't come out because he's sad. Abu Bakr, Umar, Ali, Uthman, Tashi, Sami, come with me, let's go visit him. Fillah, walillah. Rasulullah was a humble man, like to that degree. Now, unfortunately, the Imam is non-attainable. He has a hijab between him and the community. The administration, they have a hijab between them and the community. Rasulullah went to help Ali to find out what's going on. When he came to his uncle, Al-Abbas, and he asked him, did you do this to his camel? Al-Abbas, in a state of being drunk, he said, Ma anta wa abuka illa abidun li kalimatul kufr. Abbas said to Rasulullah, you and your father, both of you are my slaves. That statement was said to him because he was drunk, and he was saying in essence, you have the nerve to come ask me about a camel. You and your father are my slaves. That's a statement of kufr. You go outside of al-Islam for such a statement. If one of us said right now, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem, Rasulullah is my aunt, you go outside of the religion of al-Islam. He said, kalimatul kufr. When Rasulullah heard the statement of Al-Abbas, he said, Inna al-khamr ummul khaba'ith. Khamr is the mother of all filthy things. That's the hadith that we want to share with you as it relates to al-hukm. From them, and at the top of the list, ikhwan, it shows how Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, again, he heard both sides of the story, and he did not allow his relationship or his position with anyone to cause him to follow his hawa and give in any verdict. When we look at Ali radiallahu anhu, the people who go overboard in Ali and they praise him and they raise him to the level that he doesn't deserve, and they love his Ahlul Bayt. We say, wallahi, from Iman is loving the companions of Rasulullah, all of them, and Ahlul Bayt. And we hate people who don't love them. And one of the reasons why we find some of the ulama in al-Islam who gave precedence to Ali over Abu Bakr and Umar, one of the reasons that they used to do that is, if you look at the hadith in al-Islam, you will find the fada'il of Ali outnumbering everyone else. He has a lot of fada'il, more than Abu Bakr and Umar in terms of numbers. Because he has his own fada'il, and then in addition to his fada'il, his two sons, Al-Hasan and Al-Husayn, are from his fada'il. وَأَبْنَاؤُكُمْ مِنْ سَعْيِكُمْ. Your children are from your efforts. So some of the scholars of the past, Al-Imam Abdul Razak al-San'ani, Rumiya bit-Tashayyu', they said that he was a Shiite. But the Shiite during that time meant that they only said Ali was above Abu Bakr and Umar. But they did not curse Abu Bakr and Umar. That's what the Tashayyu' meant back then. The point is, ikhwan, Ali has so many virtues. Rasulullah could have easily said, when it was difficult for me, and all of the people rejected me and said that I was Majnoon, and they did what they did,
Ali never wavered in his iman. Ali, wallahi, I'll walk through the desert on my knees for you. He didn't say that. He looked for the haqq. I have to find out what's going on before I can rule and judge in al-Islam. So ikhwan, take that example as it relates to your daughters, your sisters, especially the awliya, because this is a serious problem that we suffer from. We have the qawmiyah, al-asabiyah, because the man is from my city or my country or my people, or she's my daughter, whatever I hear, I'm on her side and I'm against the other person. You have to find out what happened. And we'll explain that in further detail tonight, inshallah, with some examples from Dawood in the Quran, bi'idhnillahi subhanahu wa ta'ala. From the benefits of this hadith, ikhwan, is for those of us who are younger in this audience, it shows us how the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam taught his companions how to respect the kibar of the Muslims. Ali radiallahu anhu was trained by the Messenger of Allah. So we have to look at every movement that Ali made. The daughter of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Fatima az-Zahra radiallahu anha, she was not for any and every man. Abu Bakr wanted her, Umar wanted her. Rasulullah said, no, you're too old. No, you're too old. And he saved her for Ali. She was raised up in the house of a Nabuwa. She needs someone who is similar to her, raised up in the house of a Nabuwa. He married her. When he got out of the masjid and he saw his camel, his money, his property cut up, and all of his insides thrown around the place, he did not curse his uncle who was older than him. The uncle ظلمه. But Ali did not say a single word to him, because now the hikmah dictates, be quiet Ali, go and get the one who is above you to deal with this situation. If Al-Abbas radiallahu anhu said what he said to Rasulullah, then what would he have said and done to Ali, who was younger than Rasulullah and also his nephew? Maybe he would have did something to him, would have done something to him. So Ali, wallahi, was hakim, ikhwan. He came and he respected his uncle. And that's what I say to you brothers. Where is the respect that the Muslims used to have to those people who are older than them? Those people who have preceded them in Islam, in da'wah, in the life that we live. He says, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, لَيْسَ مِنَّا مَنْ لَمْ يَرْحَمْ صَغِيرَنَا وَلَمْ يُوَقِّرْ كَبِيرَنَا وَلَمْ يَعْلَمْ لِعَالِمِنَا حَقَّهُ. He is not from us. He's not from us. The one who doesn't have mercy upon our children. The imam is praying, he hears the child screaming, crying, have mercy upon him, shorten the prayer. The child is running around in the masjid doing the conference, the lecture. Don't rip his ear off, halfway off of his ear, off of his head to get him out of the masjid. You have to have mercy upon him. And he is not from us the one who does not respect our elders. And he is not from us the one who doesn't know the right of the scholar. That's our deen. He is not from us. Ikhwan, something happened recently in what we're living in these strange times. There is a brother in America who is from Buffalo, New York. It snows every year in Buffalo, and it will reach up to your chest. Every year they get 3, 4, 5 weeks out for school simply because of the snow. It's kind of close to Canada. We have a pioneer there by the name of Hamid, a Sheikh Hamid. He's been through the gamut of every dawah in America. Black nationalism, Pan-Africanism, the Black Panthers, the Nation of Islam, American Muslim Mission with Wadatin Muhammad, and now he came to the Dawat al-Haq, the Dawat al-Salafiyah. He doesn't have all of the knowledge in the world. He may not be able to quote you more than 10 hadith. In his tajweed, there may be some problems, but he was the one, by Allah's permission, who established the dawah in his area. And then the young brothers came around him and they supported him. In this fitna that we're living in, the times of not respecting elders, a Sheikh Hamid caught a stroke and half of his body has been paralyzed, but he still goes to Fajr, He still puts out the monthly newspaper, and he still has his efforts. He has a disagreement with a group of brothers who left him. And now, I guess they're giving dawah in the forest to the birds and the rabbits. Allahu Alam. One of them advised is Sheikh Hamid. Sheikh Hamid is about 70 years old, Ikhwan. African American, pioneer. The young brother wrote a letter and email and said to Sheikh Hamid, you old man, you old stupid dodo bird. This is what he was calling Sheikh Hamid. You have 1 foot in the grave, 1 foot out of the grave. You need to go and learn how to read 40 hadith, you idiot. Wallahi, when we read that email, we knew this is the time of fitna for the Muslims. Where is that as it relates to the training that the Prophet gave? Laysa minna. He is not from us. You can claim that you are Ahl al-Hadith. You can claim that you are muttaqi. Rasulullah said, Laysa minna man lam yarham saghirana wa lam yuwaqqir kabirana wa lam ya'lam li alimina haqqahu. That doesn't mean you're a kafir outside the religion, but you are not from those people who are truly upon the kitab and the sunnah. So you younger brothers, we have to learn something here, as well as the older brothers. Any place where the Muslims find themselves and they are organized and there is administration and there is leadership, we have to respect what people say who are in authority. And if they're older than us, even more so. We may not necessarily agree to everything that they're saying. But the deen of al-Islam is not a religion of fawda, confusion. We have to respect and obey the people who are over us, except when they order us to do wrong. So this is what we get from this hadith, and this is a relative pertinent point here today. Al-Kamal, completeness, is with Allah. I don't know much about the administration here, for an example, but I know that they make mistakes like everyone else makes mistakes. But it's our job to give Naseeha. It's our job not to take measures in which we are being people who are subversive in our behavior. Our fathers, mothers, aunties, people who are older than us and they oppressed us, Ali ibn Abi Talib and his camel, radiyallahu anhu. Remember it, ikhwan. Because wallahi, none of you has any money that is more important to you than that camel was to Ali. But yet he controlled himself. ليس الشديد السرعة إن الشديد من يملك نفسه عند الغضب. He is not strong, the one who can out wrestle the next guy. The one with the biggest muscles, and he is not strong to us. The strong one is the one who can control himself when he becomes angry. And that's what we saw from that companion, radiyallahu anhu. In addition to that, ikhwan, this hadith shows us the evil and the danger of khamr. I went to Yorkshire yesterday. We went to a masjid called Keatley. Muslims were all over, mashallah, and there are a number of communities like that in this country. And those are the ones that I'm most impressed with, where the Muslims are living close together. We went to a brother's home before going into the masjid, and there were some shabab in the car, close to the home. They had 50 Cent blaring in the car, and they were drinking. Couldn't believe it. In public, in the Muslims, in their community. And they were bopping their heads, and they were into it, and they were doing their thing. Drinking khamr, beer. The brothers who were with me, we noticed it, we couldn't say anything. We had our dinner. Brother gave me the local newspaper. In the newspaper, 8 Muslim youth from 17 to 24 caught, accused of killing another Muslim drug dealer. He was part-time security guard, part-time drug dealer. Where we come from, security guards, they don't make that much money. But it's crazy. If drugs were worth it, why are you still a security guard? Because our youth are caught up into this concept of hip-hop and being cool, and that lie. Wallahi, it's like an oasis in the desert. These people are turning out every week, every month, these idols for our children, that our women come to America and they're on videos. And they're after the youth here in this country by inculcating some of your music in their music. And we're sitting around arguing with each other, and our children are becoming hip-hoppers. What do you want to be, Abdullah, when you grow up? I want to play for the New York Knicks. He can tell you the starting five of all of the NBA teams. Khamr is the Khaba'ith. Rasulullah said about the Khamr, Al-Khamru akbaru kabair wa Khaba'ith. إذا شربها رجل وقع على أمه وخالته وعمته. The Khamr is the greatest of the major sins. Shirk is greater than Khamr. Shirk is greater than Khamr. But he was saying this to put emphasis, to make you aware. We all know that Shirk is the greatest kabira. So if Rasulullah says Al-Khamr is the greatest kabira, we're going to say, wow, Khamr must be serious. But shirk is greater than Khamr. Khamr is the greatest kabira, and it is the mother of all filthy things. If a man drinks it, he will have relationships with his mother, with his maternal aunt, and with his paternal aunt. Some of the ulama said, one of the ways you can understand this hadith is, he'll have relationships with them simultaneously if offered the opportunity. And another way of understanding it, he may have with her or with her or with her. But he may have it simultaneously with all of them if offered the opportunity because of the Khamr. I don't know if you brothers have heard of the fitna in America. The man was taking pictures of his daughter, akramakumullah, in her bedroom without her knowledge. And then he took those pictures and put them in the internet. When they caught him, they found out he was mudmin al-khamr, addicted to Khamr. Whoever dies and Khamr is in his stomach, he won't go to the Jannah. He won't drink from the Khamr of al-Jannah. It is from the major sins. When a person gets caught in the snares of Khamr and narcotics, wallahi akhi, haddith wala haraj. He will do anything. I ask all of you brothers, by Allah, some people from the Muslims, they don't pray, they don't wear hijab, but they're still Muslims. They may be falling short in certain aspects of the religion, but when the guest comes to visit, our culture, all of our culture, Pakistan, India, Africa, Arabs, all of our culture teaches us to be good to the dayf. This is what the Arabs were about during the time of the Jahiliyyah. I don't know if you brothers know about Hatim al-Ta'i. Hatim al-Ta'i, wallahi, a remarkable man. But he's in the hellfire because he didn't believe in Allah. لم يقل لا إله إلا الله يوم ما ولم يقل اللهم اغفر لي خطيئتي يوم الدين. So when Rasulullah was asked about him, he said he's in the hellfire. This was the culture of the Arabs. Al-Islam came and just beautified it more for all of us. When the guest comes, the irreligious person takes care of the guest. But because of Khamr, the guest is visiting one of us in our home, and our brother who does crack, our brother who drinks Khamr, when the guest goes to prepare for Salat al-Jum'ah, he's not thinking that his money isn't safe. The little brother on crack goes into his wallet and steals the money of the guest. When did that ever happen to the Muslims, ikhwan? When did that ever happen? When did the individual, that little boy in Al-Islam, when did he forget, wallahi, when I steal this money, I'm speaking on behalf of my father, my mother, and everyone. If someone did that in the past, his brothers would never get married, his sisters would never get married, as a punishment from the Muslims. He steals from the dayf. But this is the danger of Khamr and narcotics. So stay away from them. And a narcotic that we are mutasahilun in it is cigarettes. It's not a narcotic like some of the other narcotics, but wallahi, it's a narcotic. The proof of it is the man fasts the whole day of Ramadan and he can't work. And he's nervous and he's uptight and he can't concentrate. He's just no good because that nicotine, arsenic, tar, carbon monoxide, all of that is in cigarettes. He's addicted. As soon as the adhan is called, he doesn't drink zamzam, he doesn't eat dates. The first thing he does is lights a cigarette and he says, Bismillah. So we recognize, Ikhwan, that breaking the cigarette habit is not easy. And we stand with you and we ask Allah Azza wa Jal to help you. And we don't come down on you. It is a drug. People are addicted to it. It's not befitting for anyone to look at it as a small issue. From the most important aspects of this hadith, Ikhwan, is a minhaj issue. In our deen, the minhaj is critical that we understand it so that we can be raised up Yawm al-Qiyamah amongst those people who are successful, knowing the methodology of how to be a Muslim. What is the aqeedah you believe in? What do you pattern your life, your understanding in al-Islam? How do you see it? Is it with khurafat? Is it based upon your intellect? When you don't have a minhaj, you're mutalakhbat. Like the fish out of the water, he's flopping all over like this. No rhyme or reason to his life. Any wave that comes, he's drowned. People, they come and they introduce in al-Islam deviations, new concepts, new ideas. Because he doesn't have a minhaj, he's behind every asifa that comes. Even if they claim that it's from Islam and it's the sunnah and it's protecting the religion. You gotta have a minhaj, ya Abdullah, in everything you do. You want to be a student of knowledge? You have to have a minhaj. How do you buy books? What kind of books do you buy? This hadith gives us a very important issue in our aqeedah. The minhaj and the aqeedah of the Muslims. The Muslims who are upon the kitab of Allah and the sunnah of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam that explains this book according to the way Abu Bakr and Umar and Uthman and Ali and Ukash and Anas and Zayd and Usamah and the rest of them radiyallahu anhum understood this text. And that is, Al-Abbas said a kalimatul kufr to the Messenger of Allah, Ma anta wa abuka illa abidun li. You and your father, you're nothing but my slaves. That's kufr in al-Islam. But Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam did not say, Ya Abbas, tub ilallah warja' ila al-Islam, lannaka kafarta. He didn't say that. You're kafir, Ya Abbas. You said a kalima of kufr, you're out of Islam. Come back to the deen. Rasulullah taught us in this hadith that there is something known in al-Islam as al-a'dhar, al-udhr, excuses. People have excuses. The sister, the brother from this ummah, they may do something that has been called and described as being kufr. They may say a kalima or a statement while he's angry. While he's angry, someone goes to him and say, Ya akhi, ittaqillah, make wudu, sit down, Ya akhi, say, A'udhu billahi minash shaitan rajim. Rasulullah told you this or that. In a state of rage and anger, he'll say, man, get out of here with that nonsense. That's kufr. To describe the Quran or the Sunnah as nonsense. Do we say, oh, you have disbelieved in Allah, he's a kafir now? There is an excuse that is offered to the person who is drunk. Abbas said what he said because he was not his normal self. And that's why, ikhwan, in the books of fiqh, all of the books of fiqh, no matter what madhab a person is reading, and we say if you're going to be upon a madhab, that's permissible in al-Islam, as long as you don't take a madhab with a ta'assub, and you say, no matter what, I'm going to take what my madhab said and leave everything else. There are ulama who had madhabs. They were upon their madhabs. We're going to come and say now, the madhab is haram. It's the taqleed al-a'ma, when you have the ability to make a decision that is haram. But taking a madhab to systematically know the do's and the don'ts, a minhaj, is okay. So in our religion, we have excuses. In the books of fiqh, the ulama wrote, in the chapter of talaq, without any exception, what happens if a man divorces his wife while he's sakran? What happens if a man says, I free my slave while he is sakran, while he's drunk? What happens if a man does this or does that while he's drunk? It doesn't count. He's sinning. That doesn't mean it's okay. He's atham, and he fell into the khaba'ith and the akbar al-kaba'ir. But what he said, what he did, he's not held accountable for that. If he kills someone while he is drunk, he is ma'bur, he's excused. Of course, they're going to look into details, but that's the general ruling. Similarly, ikhwan, severe anger. Someone may say or do something out of severe anger. He's not himself. You're divorced, he says to his wife, but he was majnoon. It doesn't count. La talaq fil ighlaq. He can't divorce her when he lost his mind. It doesn't count. Severe happiness even will give a man an excuse. You all know of the man who went in the desert and his camel ran off and he thought he was going to die. He went under the tree in the shade to die. He woke up and he saw his camel over his head in the desert. And he said, Allahumma anta abdi wa ana rabbuka. Ya Allah, you're my slave and I'm your Lord. Akhta'a min shiddat al-farh. Rasulullah said he made a mistake from being extremely happy. His tongue didn't cooperate with what was in his heart. That's a kalimatul kufr, a tremendous kalima of al-kufr. That's from the sunnah Fir'aun. Ana rabbukum al-a'la. But today, we're dealing with some people who, when the mistake is made, wallahi, they will connect you to Fir'aun. They will connect you to those people and those concepts and those ideas that you are free from those issues. So we have the udhr in al-Islam. Concerning this udhr, ikhwan, we have to give each other the benefit of the doubt, and we have to look for al-a'dhar. That statement, give your brother 1,000 excuses, that's not a hadith of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, but it is a concept in our religion. And we're going to stop here because we try to make the iltizam of the time. The brother said here, are the ulama, the scholars, are they allowed to name people and accuse them of being deviant and people of bid'ah? Is this according to Quran and Sunnah? And should we follow them even though they are publicly slandering other scholars? This is from al-Islam, and this is what Allah has ordered the ulama to do. وَجَاهِدُوا فِي حَقِّ حَقَّ جِهَادِي. Make the real jihad. And the jihad in al-Islam is the jihad of the safe, and it is the jihad of the lisan, talking, giving da'wah, refuting who deserves to be refuted. This is from our religion. And there were some people of the past who used to complain and criticize Al-Imam Ali al-Madini, Al-Imam Ahmed for their criticizing narrators, calling them da'if and kadhab, munkar al-hadith, and so forth and so on. So those people, they made an i'tirad. This is slandering of these people. Their blood is haram, ghiba is haram, and so forth and so on. And those imams used to respond back to people who had that faulty understanding. This is not ghiba. This is from the deen, and this is the jihad in al-Islam. Because if those scholars did not say that so-and-so is a deviant, and so-and-so is this, and so-and-so is that, the sunnah would never have been protected. The purity of Islam would never have been protected. So ghiba, ikhwan, is permissible in 6 instances. You go back to Riyadh al-Salihin, that everyone has that chapter, that book in the chapter of al-Ghiba. And he brings the 6 times where Ghiba is permissible. And one of those times is when you're making the Izalatul Munkar. One of those times is when you're warning the Muslims of a pending imminent danger. The lady came and she said, Ya Rasulullah, Abu Jahm and Muawiyah, both of them want to marry me. He said, as for Abu Jahm, فهو الضراب لا يدع عصاه عن عاتقه وأما معاوية فهو الصعلوك لا مال له انكحي أسامة بن زيد. He said, as for Abu Jahm, he hits his women and he doesn't take his stick off of his shoulder. He is a strong man with his women. It's not for you. And as for Muawiyah, he's penniless. He doesn't have any money. They weren't present, and what was said was a strong statement. But Rasulullah was giving advice to that particular lady. So it's permissible for the scholars to do this. This is their responsibility. And we hope and pray that if it is really a scholar and we have the husn dhan, that they do it with the proper principles and maintaining the religion and taking care of the religion. Al-Imam al-Bukhari was the most qualified in this chapter, criticizing narrators. But very seldom will you hear or read Al-Imam al-Bukhari saying, Fulan is a kadhab, Fulan is a dajjal. Very seldom. If Al-Imam al-Bukhari said Fulan is a kadhab, then don't look for what anybody else said. Because Al-Imam al-Bukhari, he has some wara and some tawaqquf. A man would be a serious problem. And Imam al-Bukhari will say, fihi nadhar, which means he's serious, leave him alone. But look at the words, fihi nadhar, lahu manakir. And that's how our shuyukh were, who have passed recently, a Sheikh Ibn Baz, rahimahullah ta'ala. If he said about a person, he's khabith, oh, nas'alullah al-afi wa salam, because he did not talk like that. Ibn Uthaymeen, he did not talk like that. Al-Imam al-Albani, the muhaddith of the Asr, rahimahumullah ta'ala, Jami'ah, he didn't talk like that. So this is permissible, and we say it should be done by the scholars and those people who are qualified. Please, could you advise me, inshallah? I'm currently working hard so that I can save money and build a house so that I can migrate with my family from Dar al-Kufr to someplace like Gambia, inshallah. Or is it better to save a lot of money and go abroad to study Islam with the ulama to benefit myself and my family? My advice, issues like this, the answer they're going to be relative. There is virtue in making hijrah to save your family and your children and everyone else, and there is a lot of virtue in going to get knowledge. You have to bring the details and the specifics of your case so that an appropriate answer can be given to you. Both of them are virtuous. And we can't say until we hear what are the details, which one is the most virtuous and which one is the most applicable in your case. Go to those people of knowledge who you trust in knowledge and put the details to them. Is it okay to permit a woman to be president or prime minister for a country? This is not from the religion of al-Islam. This is not from the religion of al-Islam. Ar-rijalu qawwamuna ala an-nisa. The men have been given the qawwama, the responsibility over the women. That's our deen. وَلِلْرِجَالِ darajat. And the men have degrees over them. لَهُنَّ مِثْلُ الَّذِي عَلَيْهِنَّ وَلِلْرِجَالِ darajat. Women have rights similar to the men, but the men have rights over them. From the rights over them, we're the imam in the masjid. We are the ones who call the shots. They can't be the president. And Rasulullah addressed the issue, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he said, لَنْ يُفْلِحُ قَوْمٌ وَلُّوا أَمْرُهُمْ امْرَأَةً. A group of people will not be successful who make a woman responsible for their affairs. Now you have the Muslim today come in and he says, yeah, but Margaret Thatcher, she was in charge of the people's affairs and they were successful. What success are you talking about? What success? How are you judging success? You're judging success not from Islam. Who's the muflis, the bankrupt person? Oh, he's the one who doesn't have any money. He's the one who files for chapter 11. Rasulullah said the muflis to us is the one who will come Yawm al-Qiyamah with a lot of salah, a lot of siyam, but he hit this one, he cursed that one, took his money, so Yawm al-Qiyamah he's going to lose all of his good deeds. Who is the strong one? The strong one is not the one with the muscles. Mike Tyson is not necessarily strong. The strong one is the one who controls himself when he's angry. So Al-Islam put right some of these things that we think the wrong way. So Al-Falah, success is making salat in the masjid. Success is what Islam determines. So it's not permissible. Even on our shura in the masjid, not talking about a whole country, on our shura, the women should be advisors to their husbands. We should hear what they need, their needs, what's going on. But to have her sit at the table of the shura, it proves that those rijal are du'afa. Akhi Abu Usamah, concerning the hadith, whoever doesn't have mercy upon our youth and he doesn't respect our elders. Despite the hadith, there are so many teenagers proclaiming themselves that they are on the truth and that they're real Muslims from the true and real Muslim ulama. They're attacking the great scholars. Most of them, they learned Islam from the cassettes. What is your advice? Ali ibn Abi Talib radiyallahu anhu, he said about these people, he said, كان العلم نقطة فدخل الجهال فكثروا. It used to be that knowledge was just a dot. It was not a lot of kalam. It was real easy. But the ignorant people got involved in the realm of knowledge, then it became a lot of kalam. And we seek refuge in Allah from the evil of the internet. Wallahi, I don't know if you guys receive, you write an email to someone and you write at the end of it, W-A, salamu, S-A-L-A-A-M, alaykum. The guy sends you back all of this dalil. You have to say, what? You'll say, if you said salam alaykum to him, as opposed to Assalamu alaikum, you said salam alaikum, he'll write you back and give you a long post about why salam alaikum is not correct and all of these other links. And you look at it and you say, I'm not reading all of that. Why all of this kalam? I find it amazing that people have time for all of that. And the people who are living in this culture that we have, you know what I'm talking about. Just scroll down and say, Wallahi, where is his life at? And he's married? And that's the evil of the dole, ikhwan. Being a person who just takes public assistance, welfare, and you don't want to do anything with your time, you'll waste your time in those kind of issues. So those youth, unfortunately, they should get a grip, they should get a life, make yourself more productive in terms of what is going to benefit you now and in the hereafter. And this is a new phenomenon, wallahi. We did not see this as rampant as we're seeing it right now in the past when our dawah began to spread. The people in al-hadith, they started giving dawah to a tawheed in countries like this, but they were first generation Muslims. They didn't always know the details of this life. The children went to school and mixed with the kuffar, and the kids started to embrace the dawah, and we saw how the dawah began to spread and grow. At that time, we didn't have a lot of this nonsense. Who died in Singapore after a failure in the operation, many Muslim Sunnis pray for them in Singapore, even though they are Shiite Muslims. Is it permissible for Sunni Muslims to do janazah prayer and dua for the Shiite Muslim? Ikhwan, the ulama of the Shiite, Khomeini and those people like that, because of their knowledge and because of their position, we make takfir of them, wala karama. But the regular Shiite, who are like our regular brothers and sisters who just grew up and they took their Shiaism without any research and without any knowing, we say Allah will judge their situation. Leave them alone. They're from the Muslims, inshallah, leave them alone. That doesn't mean that Rafida is not a khabith da'wah and madhab and minhaj. No, it's terrible. But pronouncing takfir upon the person who grew up in ignorance, this is not watering anything down, and this is not having mercy upon those people. They have a terrible concept in Islam. The Quran we have is 1/3 of the Quran that Ali received. When their Imam al-Muntadhir comes back, he's going to raise Aisha out of the ground and put the had on her of a zina. When Rasulullah went in to make the jihad, his wives used to let the Jews into the home. Ish hadha kalam. My mother's a kafir. You said that about my mother, I'm going to have a problem with you. What about the Ummuhat al-Mu'mineen? Aisha was a zaniya, and Allah Azza wa Jal gave her the bara'ah in the Quran. إن الله يأمركم أن تذبحوا البقرة. Allah orders you to slaughter the cow. The cow is Aisha. Abu Bakr and Umar were homosexuals. نسأل الله العافية والسلامة. All of that is khubth, haram. But the regular people, the Ammat al-Nas, like Ladin or Lada or Lahi, whatever their names were, if the Muslim was to pray over those people with the niyyah of I want to get the reward of the janazah. Rasulullah came out and he asked the people, who fasted today? Abu Bakr said me. Who visited the sick today? Abu Bakr said me. Who gave sadaqah to the poor? Abu Bakr said me. Who prayed the janazah? Abu Bakr said me. He said, no person does this in a day except I guarantee him Jannah. Someone says, I'm going to pray over them because of that, but I hate that dawah and I hate those people and I see them as the Ammat al-Nas. I'm going to pray for myself. That's permissible. But they're ulama, they're people who give in dawah, or you're in a place where if you pray on them, it's going to give mixed messages, then kalla, alf kalla, don't pray over them. It is from the sunnah to not pray over the people of deviance and the people of sins. Those two girls are from the Ammat al-Nas. Their affairs with Allah, in sha'a ghafar lahuma wa in sha'a adabahuma, is with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Living in this non-Muslim country, is it permissible for a Muslim woman to pursue higher education studies if she lives at home? She doesn't compromise her Islam and she can protect her religion. She can protect her iffah and her sharaf. She doesn't have ikhtilat with the men. She's not a fitna for them and they're not a fitna for her. Inshallah, it's permissible, but it is better for her to stay in her home. وَقَرْنَ فِي بُيُوتِكُنَّ وَلَا تَبَرَّجْنَ تَبَرَّجَ الْجَاهِلِيَّةِ الْأُولَى. Stay in your homes, women, and do not make the display of the times of al-jahiliyyah. إِذَا خَرَجَتِ الْمَرْأَةِ مِنْ بَيْتِهَا اسْتَشْرَفَهَا الشَّيْطَانِ. If the woman comes out of her home, he said, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the shaitan beautifies her. That's in Mecca and Medina and Bayt al-Maqdis. If the woman who is mutanaqqiba with the niqab and all of that, if she comes out of her home, shaitan beautifies her. What about the woman who comes out wearing the clothes that our women come out in? It's better for her to stay in her home. What is the ruling on Islamic mortgages, i.e. the Kuwait Bank? Ikhwan, I don't know any bank, whether they call themselves Islamic or not Islamic, except that they're taking some riba from the people. In many instances, the Islamic banks are taking even more money. If a person can make an agreement with another Muslim, with a kafir, with an organization, an institution, where he doesn't fall into the riba, it's permissible to take the mortgage. But if he has to take the riba, it's haram. يا أيها الذين آمنوا لا تأكلوا أموالكم بينكم بالباطل إلا أن تكون تجارة عن تراض منكم. Oh, you believe? Don't devour your monies between yourselves with what is batil, except if it is some commerce. Give me your money, I give you the product. That's permissible. وَلَا تَقْتُلُوا أَنفُسَكُمْ إِنَّ اللَّهَ كَانَ بِكُمْ رَحِيمًا. And don't kill yourselves. Allah had a lot of mercy on you. So when I get the mortgage and I give them the money, how am I going to pay them the premium, and then in addition to that I have to pay them all of that riba? لا يجوز ما ينبغي. It's a kabira from the kaba'ir. Riba, whether it's from the Muslim or the non-Muslim, is a kabira from the kaba'ir. And it is 70 degrees. The lowest degree is like a man having sex with his mother. That's the lowest degree. What is the 55th degree like? What is the 60th degree like? Some of us, there is an animal in Arabic, he is called the tumsah. The tumsah, he has an insatiable appetite. He is the alligator. He can eat a wildebeest trying to cross the river. He catches them, he eats them. And he's sitting on the sand, and when you come, you would think you can walk by him. He'll eat you for general principle. Muslims are like that, the tumsah, insatiable appetite for the dunya. As for those who feel you are being forced and compelled, as we are sometimes, we have to get some kind of insurance. In al-Jahiliyyah, we used to drive without license, and we used to drive without insurance. I would tell the person who was a passenger, hey look, if something happens, I'm running. You can sit here if you want, but I'm leaving. If they catch you, you're in trouble. Becoming a Muslim, you have to be more responsible. You're a father and so forth and so on. Muslim imam caught without insurance, they'll make it into a big thing. So we get the lowest insurance, liability. If I hit someone now, this thing. But I'm not going to get the insurance in which, okay, and if I hit a man in the bus, it's detailed insurance now. If you hit a man on 42nd Street, if you pay that much, you'll get more money back. If you hit a woman and she's above 50, then you do it. And it's very detailed now. The Muslim says, I'm not getting through that. The Muslim is a doctor, a nurse. They have to pay insurance for their business. Are we going to say, practice that practice without insurance? You're compelled. Hate it with your heart. Just don't go overboard. Take your specific detailed issues to the scholars of Islam, tell them, this is my case. And then they'll give you the fatwa. Not some general kalam and some talk. This is my detail. Is it permissible for me to take a mortgage out? They'll say yes, they'll say no. Allah who knows the best. أخي أبو أسامة شكرا على هذه المحاضرة. عندي سؤال. السؤال في جماعة من الجماعات ايش هذا يا شيخ؟ شطموه. I live in Redditch. What was the place we went to in Bradford? Keithley. It has a G in it. It doesn't even have a T. So I know our brothers who came over here trying to learn English, they say, what's this language of you people? English is faqira, ikhwan. It is faqira. Meet me tomorrow, inshallah, in the morning. What morning you mean? Fajr time, Ishraq time, Duha time? What? Arabic is precise like that. The type of sitting, the type of running, everything is detailed. فَعَلَيْكُمْ بِالْعَرَبِيَّةِ. We have to learn our language. And you Arab brothers, tighten up, ikhwan, on the classical Arabic. I was talking to a brother from Maghrib, and he was speaking to me with that French Arabic that thing, and I couldn't help but to look, and I was turning my face like that, and he got up saying, he said, Akhi, what's the matter? I told him, Allah, I don't understand you, Akhi. If you came to our place where we lived, African Americans, and we talked our language, Allah, you won't know what we're talking about. The strange thing is that your sons and daughters who listen to hip hop, they can now talk to me in our slang. Yeah, so the person said, I live in Redditch. My local mosque prays Asr at 8:15. When Asr starts around 5:30, should I still pray in Jamaat or should I pray on time at home? You should pray in Jamaat if 8:15 is still Asr time. What time does Asr go out here? Maghrib comes in at 9:30. It's permissible to pray Salat al-Maghrib, Asr at this time, and this is not the time of al-Kirahiyah. If the people at the masjid made this time an hour and a half before the end of the salah, for the maslahah of the people, it's the summertime, people get off of work and they want more people in the masjid, it's permissible. What is makruh and what is the salat of the munafiq and the salat of the sariq, the thief, is the salat if Maghrib comes in at 9:30, he prays 9:20, 9:25, and he prays real quick to get it in. But this is ample time to get the salat in. Jibril came to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and he prayed Salat al-Fajr, al-Dhuhr, al-Asr, al-Maghrib, al-Isha at the beginning time. And then he came the next day and he prayed al-Fajr, al-Dhuhr, al-Asr, al-Maghrib, al-Isha at the end of the time. And he said, these are the mawaqit of the times. What you pray in here is permissible. Inna as-salata kanat ala al-mu'minina kitaban mawquta. The prayer has been prescribed on the believers at a specific time. As long as you pray in that time, it's permissible. It is permissible. But it's always better, ikhwan, to pray it earlier if that's easy for the people. When they asked Rasulullah, Ya Rasulullah, ayyul amal أحب إلى الله قال الصلاة على وقتها وفي رواية الصلاة في أول وقتها. What's the best deed loved by Allah? He said salat at its proper time, and in the narration he said salat at its beginning time. But he himself used to delay. If it was very hot, he would delay a dhuhr. He would pray Salatul Jummah before dhuhr came in, but that's only for Jummah. Jummah comes in 1 o'clock, he would pray 12:30. And the people will complete the prayer before the dhuhr come in, sometimes after. All of that looking at what the people need. I heard that it is justifiable to live in a non-Muslim country for the purpose of giving dawah. How can a Muslim sister do this without leaving the house? Dawah is one of the reasons that a person is allowed to live with the kuffar. But living with the kuffar is a major sin, ikhwan, and it closes the door for a lot of barakah in our lives. As we sit here, ikhwan, we have to hate it in our hearts, living with these kuffar. And whether you realize it or not, it is impacting upon us. أنا بريء من كل مسلم يساكن المشركين لا تتراءى نارهما. He said, I'm free of any Muslim who lives with the mushrikeen. Their fires cannot coexist. If you live with them, their fire is going to overtake your fire, your children's fire. So there is a lot of evil with living here, and some of us are just stuck. So if a person is looking for an excuse to be here, one of those excuses is a dawah, if he's really giving dawah to the hakim properly. He sent Mus'ab ibn Umair to al-Medina. He sent Abu Musa al-Ash'ari and Ali and Mu'adh ibn Jabal radiyallahu anhum to al-Yemen. They weren't Muslims there, but they're going to give dawah to the kalimatul haqq. As it relates to our akhawat in al-Islam, the world has become a global village. She can give dawah to people who are all the way overseas by way of the internet. She can give dawah to her relatives and the local sisters by allowing them to come to her home. She can give dawah in many shapes, many fashions, many forms. Just stick to what is permissible. Don't compromise your religion, and she can give dawah. There's no problem with that. With that, ikhwan, we say that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is a'la wa a'lam. Hada wa sallallahu wa sallam ala nabiyyina wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'in. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.